2 more flavors. Today we dropped peach rings and sour watermelon, Silo EAA plus hydration. If you get to hostile.com right now, they both dropped. You can pick up both. While you're there, you can pick up Samson's Bloodshot, still at 50% off. $26.50 is an awesome deal. Get there now, pick up all 3. Thank you, guys. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to RBP News. I'm here with Suki from BTS TV. We have some really big news today. Some of you might have heard yesterday. Probably most of you have not heard. Suki, why don't you give us what you got?
Well, apart from news, I haven't got a fucking idea about TikTok.
Well, listen, I like this. The TikTok live thing is cool. Like, see, I can get to talk to people now. This is amazing.
You get to talk to me. We don't need them. Okay, you don't want to talk to them, but they're customers. They're buying stuff from you.
No, that's not. Shut up.
I'm still waiting for my hostile delivery. I don't know. It's been how many weeks now?
I sent that in the mail. I promise.
Yeah. Okay. Fright, isn't it? Okay. Let's go straight into it. Let's start with a recent post I've just dropped, and that is the official Arnold Classic prize money across all the divisions. I just want to jump on this very quickly because it's not gone out live. I don't believe the full prize money has been put out yet. So I've just done a post in regards to the prize money split. It's another record-breaking year for the Arnold Classic. If we do go onto the BTS channel, we can quickly just flick through some of the prize money that's up for grabs. We've got the Arnold Classic in 4.5 weeks. Let's swipe right. We already know the first one. Look, we already knew £1 million is up for grabs, $1 million, sorry, for first at the Arnold US and the UK. 250, 125 second, and 150 and 100. Even if you come third, you walk away with $250,000.
Yeah. Well, look, man, this is what they got to do. So the prize money at the Arnold has to increase because they are trying to compete with the Olympia. For those people that don't know, these two shows kind of have a friendly competition going to see who can be the biggest show in bodybuilding. That's really what it is. They want to know, they want everybody to think that their show is the biggest and best show. The problem that the Arnold Classic is going to have is that the Olympia is not an invitational. It is the only really objective sporting way of proving who the best bodybuilder in the world is. So the Arnold's kind of trying to combat that with saying, look, you guys might be, you might have this tournament where you do all these shows and everybody's got to qualify and they have every class and every person. That's great. But we have the most money. So they're saying, look, you have this tournament style thing that you're doing, but we're giving away $1 million. So that makes our show the biggest. Does that make their show the biggest? I don't know. But who wins? The bodybuilders win. And this is a big deal because look, going back to when I started, the Arnold Classic was giving away $100,000. They were doing, I think that year that Ronnie Coleman won, they did $100,000 plus a Hummer and maybe a Rolex watch, I think, or something like that. So you probably say that amounts to like $200,000. And now they're up to $1 million if you combine both shows for first. So it's a really, really big deal. And it does help them compete to be the best show of the year. And some people are planning on this show every year being their show because of the prize money. Yes, legacy matters, but this is also a career for a lot of guys. So, guys like Martin, Andrew, Nick, these are all top Olympians, Hadi, and they're doing this show because of its prestige. It does have not only the prize money, but the prestige of being the Arnold Classic. So I think they've done a good thing in trying to elevate the prowess of the show. In saying that, though, I don't know if they'll ever be able to top the Olympia as far as being the best show of the year.
If you go back to the post, because I know, look, we already know the open prize money. That was the one that was already promoted well in advance. I just want to go onto a few other divisions. If you swipe right after the open, it's classic. 100K now for the winner, 50 for second, 25 for third. At the UK, 40 for first, 25 for second, and 15 for third. Mike Sommerfeld, number 2 in the world, could walk away 140 grand in prize money. The rest of the divisions, apart from wheelchair bodybuilding, US prize money has gone up again. to 30K for the winner, 15 for second, 8 for third, and in UK, 15, 8, and 3. So prize money has gone up across those divisions, but there still is a big difference between open to classic and then the rest. Clearly, Arnold is a big fan of classic physique, which is why they've seen another increase, but you can see the difference between open and classic versus the rest of the divisions.
It's not just Arnold being a fan. This is, look, it's a business at the end of the day. What are people coming to see? They're seeing a lot of different divisions. They want to see men's classic. They want to see men's physique. They want to see bikini and wellness and all the rest. But the heavy hitters are the open class and classic. And that's why they are paid the most. If people weren't showing up to see the guys in the open class, they wouldn't be getting $1 million. Yes, there are a lot more people doing men's physique. There are a lot more people watching men's physique and bikini and all these things. Those are more mainstream categories. But the people who are spending the money to fly to Columbus, to buy the tickets, to sit in the seats, are the diehard bodybuilding fans, the open men's bodybuilding fans. And that's the way it usually is at the Olympia and the Arnold. And until that changes, until the bikini people become so crazy that they're going to fly in and sit through bikini and watch all the bikini competitors or men's physique or whatever, until that changes, the men's open bodybuilding will always receive more of the prize money. It's just kind of the way it works.
Let's leave the prize money for a moment. Let's go to an interesting story here. Menegate. I remember just before his Arnold Classic prep started, he left Neil Yoda Hill to go over to Chris Aceto.
Sure.
Now, it looks like he's made a change with his trainer. It's Pacho. Pacho, who obviously is a trainer for Derek and Ramon Dino, more notably. He's now left Pacho, and he's now working with Marcelo Cruz. Okay. And this was kind of announced on a Brazilian YouTube channel, Integra Media. And Marcelo, his new trainer, really came out to say that Menegate can challenge for the #1 spot. He can beat Mike Sommerfeld. And of course, Menegate he's been no stranger to sharing updates. Here is the most recent update.
Yeah. I mean, look, I remember seeing Menegate's physique come out 2 years ago, and I was like, who is this guy? He's a freak. Limbs, very, very good. Shape in the torso is very, very good. Small waist, very complete. Needs a little bit thicker chest, but he's very, very complete, very balanced, very pleasing shape. And yes, he can one day be up there with the top guys. I really believe he's a top 5 guy in the world with this physique one day once he completes it. To say that now, I don't know if it's there just yet. I still think he's giving up a little bit too much mass in some areas, predominantly like the hamstrings, the chest. I think Mike really takes over on like the back department, the leg department too. I mean, quads from the front, Menegate is good, but from the back, I think Mike kind of has him there. So there are some areas that Mike is still pretty dominant, and I think he will continue to be for a little while. Menegate, though, does have the right structure, but like that's, we talk about this a lot. We talk about structure, we talk about size. These things are important, but to watch a guy have the structure, you still have to fill that out. Building muscle is a long, for some people you see it happen kind of quickly. For some people it takes a long time. You look at like Regan Grimes, like this is a long, every year, Quint, every year, a few pounds. Doesn't happen all at once. So you can have the structure and never get there. But having the structure is a very good start. That means you got, an ace in the hole over everybody else. You're starting like one notch in front of everybody. So Menegate has that structure. It's just a matter of kind of completing it. And I don't know if he's at Sommerfeld's level just yet, but he will get there, I think.
I guess the major win for him would be if he takes second place. But of course, it does look like it's Mike's show to win. And even if he comes second place, that's $50,000 in prize money, more than he's ever won in any show, obviously. But I guess if he takes second place to Mike, beating the people like Wesley, who didn't go head-to-head with at Olympia, but of course he cut his season short after Detroit, would that be a successful result for Menegate?
Yeah. Yeah, if Menegate is second place over somebody like Wesley, and I know there's some other, who's the gentleman from the UK? The gentleman from the UK doing classic.
Well, no, there isn't one from the UK doing classic.
Who's the That one guy we looked at, good looking dude. They're all good looking dudes. I forget his name. It'll come to me. Anyways, there are some good.
We got Kim Angel. We got
Kim Angel.
Andre Mamoli.
Isn't Kim Angel from the UK?
Kim's from Spain,
Oh, okay. My mistake.
and Andre from Italy.
Anyway, there's Kim Angel doing the show. Wesley's doing the show. Yes. If Menegate can take second, that is a feather in his cap. I don't know if he's ready to beat Wesley yet. Wesley, when he's, like I said, Wesley, when he's peaked properly, can battle. Like Wesley is closer to beating Mike than Menegate is to beating Wesley, in my opinion. Wesley's still, like I said, if everything goes right, Wesley's still a notch above. He's just it's weird. If you put them both down on paper, you're probably going to pick Menegate because he's got that almost that perfectly balanced physique without a couple areas. But the way Wesley presents his physique on stage and the amount of area he takes up on stage, being 6'2" or 6'3", whatever he is, and just the way he kind of poses, his presentation on stage takes up so much space. It becomes very hard to overcome that when he's peaked properly. So I think, I don't know, Wesley's, I don't know, I'm probably biased. I'm a big fan of Wesley.
Well, look, let's stay about Brazil, because before Menegate, before Ramon Dino, before Edvan, the pride of Brazil was Rafael Brando. And we've seen now his newest update at 5 weeks out from the Arnold Classic. And the question seeing this update is this a physique that can break into the top 5 at the Arnold Classic?
I don't know just yet. I shared a little bit of this on my TikTok live yesterday with some of the guys I was on there with. And look, he's made some improvements. You can see he's a little bit muscle in that sweep. The arms look a little bit more full. Biceps look a little bit bigger. Chest and back, I'm not sure if they've gained too much. The problem with Rafa is not that he doesn't have a beautiful physique. Rafael has very, very nice shape. He's very balanced. The issue Rafael is going to run into when he's going against some of those heavy hitters like Martin, Andrew, Hadi, Nick, is they are very full in muscularity. They have filled in their frames. And when you look at Rafa, you see a lot of empty space here, right? See this big gap here from the tricep down to the sweep. This is a very big gap, which in some terms is nice because aesthetically it creates an X frame. But in bodybuilding criteria, you're looking at a very open space here. So really you'd like the sweep to come up a little bit higher. You'd like this lat to come down a little bit lower so you can kind of close off this space and look a little bit more muscular and be able to stand next to those guys like Martin, like Hadi, and be able to look as muscular and as compact with no gaps. And I think that's the tricky part, is when he stands next to those guys with no gaps, he's going to look like he's not as muscular. And that's why Rafa gets those comments like, oh, he should be in classic, or he should be he's way too heavy for classic. He's a very muscular guy, but because of the structure of his physique, it looks like there's gaps in areas. And that's why the more muscular guys kind of take place over him. So,
well, look, a week after the Arnold Classic is Detroit. Let's just look at another update of one of the guys who'll be competing at your show, and that is Elias McCall.
Yes.
He's just dropped an update, which has definitely got a lot of people talking leading up to the Detroit show, which is now, what is it, 5.5 weeks away? 4.5 weeks of Arnold Classic, 5.5 till Detroit. We know Mo Fuda is going there. We're still waiting to see if Nick Walker will throw his name in the race. But let's just look at this update from Elias. Where do you see he could potentially land at Detroit?
Well, look, Elias has a ton of muscle, and you can see he's already in shape. He's almost, this is almost stage ready. Maybe, a couple more pounds, but he's pretty much there. He's a really, really big guy. The angle of the phone obviously is making him look a little bigger than he might be. I don't know. It's just kind of like you can't really tell for sure. The one thing that's throwing me off though is the legs from the front maybe don't match the upper body as much. So he looks really, really big, and he looks like he will compare well with Mo as far as size goes, but I think Mo might be a little bit more complete. So he's going to do well. Like anybody who's this muscular and in shape is going to get a good look. He doesn't got a big waistline. He looks like he's, Elias McCall is a, very well built physique. He's got a great back here. Hamstrings are stripped out. You can see he's done his work. But, you know, people like Mo Fuda are very, very complete in every area. If Nick Walker shows up, now you have an extremely muscular physique on stage. It can start to become an uphill battle. So Elias is a freak. I can't wait to see him in Detroit. He's going to look crazy under those lights. And I'm looking forward to seeing him in the lineup. He's a big dude, and he's in shape, which is always awesome to watch.
Moving over to men's physique, I just want to touch on this story because this is more on the business end of bodybuilding. Ali Bilal has just become a co-partner with BioWell Labs. And the reason why I want to touch on this is because when we talk about bodybuilding, we talk about competing, but of course we know
because you're sponsored by them. Just say that.
Come on.
You're going to bust my balls for it. I'm going to bust yours for it. Don't play this game with me. You're going to tell me that we're doing this for Hostile. I'm going to tell you we're doing it for BioWell.
All right. Well, let me look. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Now let's talk about it.
I want to get your opinion here. So I can't remember which podcast I listened to the other day, but they talk about that something they're seeing more is bodybuilders now taking some ownership when they do get new sponsored contracts, taking a percentage within the business. This is the second business I believe Ali Bilal has now become a co-partner with. And I do believe now he's probably, arguably, has one of the most lucrative contracts in men's physique, if maybe not all of bodybuilding. This is a guy who's just been racking up some big contracts. So,
well, we don't know what the contracts are, though. Have they made them public?
Well, I'm more referring to the one before that, which I can't remember what the supplement company's called. It's based in Singapore or Indonesia. It's one of them, and it's a very recognizable brand in Asia. But it's another one that Ali Bilal's now linked with. He's become a co-partner with BioWell Labs. So congratulations to BioWell. Congratulations to Ali Bilal. There you go. I've done my bit there.
Listen, no, let's be serious about this, though, because it's interesting when we talk about contracts, right? Like, this is so lucrative and he's doing this and doing that. I agree with you. That's the fact that he's smart enough to be able to get that. Ali Bilal is smart enough to be able to get a piece of the company. If in fact that's what's happened, is very, very smart than just taking a contract deal and some supplements or whatever, peptides. But we can say lucrative, but we don't know what the contract is. Did they offer him 1% of sales? Did they offer him 1% of revenue? Did they offer them, 5% of the whole company if it sells, which means nothing until it sells down 30 years down the road? Like, we don't know what the lucrative nature is. All we know is that he's partners, which is very smart, which is congratulations to him. But we don't know. You could say I have 8 sponsors, but we don't know what the contract is.
I do know the percentage. I'm not allowed to disclose it.
So you're saying it's lucrative, but we don't know.
So obviously, I know the finance behind it. I know the percentage, so that's why I use the word lucrative.
Okay.
But there we go.
That's better.
That gets me my monthly sponsorship paycheck from BioWell now. That's a tick of the box for February. We'll see you again in March.
Okay. Well, if we're going to talk about the business of bodybuilding, we should also talk about the most popular bodybuilder on earth, who is Nick Walker. And breaking the news, if you guys haven't seen it.
Yes, I was waiting for you.
Nick Walker is no longer with HD Muscle, apparently, according to his bio, because he has removed HD from the bio. And I think somebody said in a story or a live or something, he said he wasn't with them anymore. So this is crazy news. I don't know how you didn't bring it to me. You're the news guy.
Look, because I'll only report things when it becomes official. Look, yes, it was taken out as bio.
Yeah, that's official. It's on his page. It's on his page. That's official to me. If you remove it.
Okay. Well, look, the last few days has been a bit mad on my side. Wedding anniversaries, house move, all this other stuff. So there may be a chance I may miss some stories.
Okay. More importantly, who cares about that? More importantly, what do you think? That's a big deal. Nick Walker leaving HD. He was with HD.
I was about to say.
Then he left, went to Raw. Then he went back to HD. Now he's leaving again. What does this mean for Nick Walker? How does that look to the public? What does this mean for HD? Is it mutual? Is it not? We do this all the time when people leave Hostile. Why are we not doing this?
This was an interesting one because Nick has, I don't know how many different contracts he's had. Is there a pattern here where he's been with HD twice now and he's dropped out? And we talk about that, the fact that fans now, bodybuilding fans, are smarter. They know that if someone is associated with a brand, we're not buying it because of you, because we've seen you with somebody else the year before that or the year before that, which to talk about that with Samson.
Right.
So this is interesting. He's not explained the reason why he's left HD. I'm interested to see where he goes next, because if you're another brand, do you just take advantage of maybe 6 months to 12 months with Nick?
Right.
Knowing that there's a high chance he won't renew his contract and then he'll jump ship somewhere else. At the same time, will it become authentic when he's talking about the products after we know he's been with HD, Raw, and obviously we were hostile from the beginning?
Yeah.
So this is very interesting. Of course, the Sam Stauder one was a very big one because he's an Olympia champion. But of course, Nick is still one of the biggest names, if not really the biggest name at the moment.
Nick is probably the most popular bodybuilder.
Where do you think he will go?
I honestly
Who's left?
don't know. Look, there's a lot of Nick could go anywhere he wants. When you're as popular as Nick Walker is, you can go to any company you want to go to, and any company would be happy to have him. Now, is it going to be kind of tricky because he's been with 3 companies? It's probably 4 companies, but it's been 3 companies that just kind of went back and forth to. So it's not like he went to a lot of different companies, but I think companies will still be happy to have him. The thing with Nick is it's tricky to know if he's going to go to a really big brand that's willing to pay him, 20 grand a month, 25 grand a month, something like that for somebody that popular. Or is he going to go to a startup that he just gets to have his own line and do whatever he wants? You know what I mean? Because if you go to a newer company, you can probably have your own line. You probably get to do whatever you want, kind of call the shots. If you go to a big company, you probably might get paid more, but you probably have to do more shit, do more ads, do more videos, do more, might have more responsibilities. So I don't know, right? Because I know Nick kind of likes to do his own thing, but I also know he's going to want the big money. So kind of like, which one is he going to pick? Because if you pick the big money, you have more responsibility. If you take, a startup with maybe a little less money, but you get to call the shots and do whatever the fuck you please, then that's also attractive. So I don't know. I honestly don't know where he's going to go.
If he drop you a DM just saying, any thoughts about bringing me back on? Send me some numbers. Would you entertain it?
I love Nick. Honestly, listen, I love Nick. And I really think he is a great bodybuilder. A lot of people have jumped ship on Nick, and I don't like that. I think Nick is a great bodybuilder. And I think Nick is a really good person. Does he have some problems here and there with companies and deciding where he wants to stay and go? Yes. I'm not going to say he doesn't. That's for sure. But I do think he's a really good person. I do think he's a hard worker. I do think he's a great bodybuilder. Hostile is just not the company right now, because Hostile is doing its own thing. Like, we are doing our own thing. I'm leading the charge. We are not doing the athlete thing anymore. We are just dropping products. We are 1000% focused on dropping as many products as possible. We are not doing the athlete thing right now. So even if Nick came back for like $2,000 a month, I'd probably say, no, we're not, it's just not what we want to do right now. Right. Like, I want to sign, what I do want to do is if just to turn the channel a little bit, what I do want to do is I'm looking at scouting like new athletes, like NPC up and comers, like guys who are like, on the verge of breaking out. Like, those are the guys I'm looking for right now.
I got my clip for this episode.
What's your clip? What did I say?
Nick Walker.
No, don't say that.
$2,000 a month.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Okay, actually, I want to finish off because, funny enough, you just mentioned that I wanted to scout some new people.
Yes.
I want to touch on this guy.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
17-year-old. I dropped a post
I talked to him
yesterday. Sorry?
I talked to him.
Look, last year I found that Julius at the start of the year, now he's with Gymshark and Imogen.
Yeah.
And now I'm bringing this guy to attention.
Yeah.
17 years old. I believe he turns 18 this summer.
What's his name?
He'll be competing toward... Sorry?
What's his name? His tag, Dave or Dan?
Davin, DAVEON .08. Must be 08, because that's 2008 when he was born.
Yeah, that's him. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I'll let you bring this up. So I know he's competing at the end of the year. I think in November time. His coach actually dropped me a message, giving me his plan for 2026. But I mean, even this one,
Yeah, he's a freak. I talked
I
to
mean,
him.
what the hell is
I
that?
talked to him yesterday. Yeah, he's 17. For me, that's still, I don't want to, I think it's too young for us. I don't want to sign a 17-year-old. I feel like there might be something a little wrong with that. I'm going to wait till I told him, I said, look, if nobody has picked you up by the time you're 18, give me a call. I'd be interested. But he has a really, really nice physique for a 17-year-old. Structures, very impressive. Arms are crazy size wise. It reminds me of like a Sergio Oliva senior. Like this kid's crazy, man. Like look at those the arms on this kid. For those people watching on TikTok, it's DAVEON.08 is his handle. And
If you go to the video, that's a 17-year-old. He's got his legs out there.
yeah, legs are crazy, arms are crazy. Not the widest guy in the world, but he's got a good structure, man. Small waist, very, very impressive for 17 years. I didn't look like this till I was 22. Very impressive.
One to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, for sure, man. I know somebody will grab him because like anybody with a physique like that, someone's going to pick up for sure. But if he hits 18 and doesn't have a contract, I'm going to come knocking because I like to. It's fun picking up these guys when they're young and they're on their way up, and you get to kind of share in the wins with them. And like I got to do that whole thing with Samson, from being 5th place at a small show all the way jumping on stage at the Arnold to jumping on stage at the Olympia. Like that was I got to go along for that ride. It was really special. So it's fun picking up these guys and watching them. You kind of win with them and you lose with them, and you kind of get to just feeling that. And I know some people say like you shouldn't get too close to your athletes and stuff, but I think it's the only way I know how to do it. So, but yeah, good luck to that kid. He looks like he's going to be one to watch for sure. Is that it? That's it.
Oh, mate, that's a long episode.
That's a long episode. February 3rd, long episode today. Subscribe, like, share. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will catch you guys tomorrow.